Okay, welcome to Cassidy Roderick from Franciscan University's Vocations Outreach. I'm so glad that you're here with us today to tell us more about this new program that is trying to help all kinds of groups of people. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks so much. It's great to be with you guys.
So why don't you first just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to work with Franciscan University.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm from Denver, Colorado originally, born and raised here, and it's where I am now because of all the virus shutdowns. But yeah, so I did my undergrad degree in theology and philosophy at Steubenville. Loved it. It's an amazing school. And then now I'm finishing up my graduate degree there. So my degree will be in theology and Christian ministry. And yeah, so basically, Vocations Outreach started about 2 years ago. We had a group of students who started doing some videography work for religious orders, and that really just took off. And so as we were kind of making all these videos, we started to realize that it was becoming a bit of like a resource for young adults. And so we started to think about, like what are some other things that we can offer to people that are discerning. And yeah, that's kind of how the mentorship program took off. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey, but it's been really good.
So you have Franciscan University, which is world renowned now, I think, for building up not only a great culture of vocations, because many vocations are coming out of Franciscan University. So that's good in itself. There's a lot of normally a lot of sisters and priests on campus, right? So that's a good thing. And so you've got these kids that can utilize their skills to help religious orders, and so they not only do free, they'll offer their services free to not only for videography but for website help and other things too.
Yeah, so we do videography, photography, and graphic design for orders. So we have a team of student interns, and we basically send them out all over the country, and they get to help with just all different kinds of communities. So it's been really great.
What an amazing internship program that would be, for somebody to say that this is what they did during their internship, that's really cool. So did what did you find that drew you to this? What was it about this program that you wanted to work there or work with them?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it was based in my own experience. So I'm actually hoping to enter religious life, hopefully in just a few months. But that was a call I felt really drawn towards, even starting in high school. So I would say that I started discerning when I was 15 years old. I knew by the time I was 18. And then, yeah, I just kind of felt like I knew that God wanted me to enter religious life, but he wanted me to wait for a little while. And then, we have all of these cool vocation things that I've gotten to be involved with in the time of waiting. So it's been really, really, yeah, kind of
Well,
surprising to see.
that's awesome. I didn't know that you were discerning as well, which is great news. So tell us a little bit about then this discernment program or the program you have for discerners, this mentorship program. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's a program that started earlier this spring. And so basically the program, we're working with the Catechetical Institute out at Franciscan University. So they work to provide online formation courses for people that are in the ministry of catechetics, basically in any kind of field where you're teaching about the faith. And so we partnered up with them. We're using their online platform. And so basically our formation program is that we're able to pair young adults that are discerning religious life with a mentor who's a member of some kind of religious community. So we have men's and women's religious as a part of this program. And then that mentor will actually walk with them through our online formation course, which is basically a series of workshops that's meant to cover pretty much the whole spectrum of what you need to know to discern religious life. So from what is a vocation, to how do I discern God's will, to what is religious life, like what is the theology behind it, how does it work, kind of all those things that you really have to fit together to make a good understanding of how to discern. And so in addition to being paired with a mentor, people can also, or will also be paired with we call them a critical friend. By that, it would just mean like, it's kind of like a program buddy, where it's someone that's their own age that's kind of walking with them as well. So they get the wisdom of a mentor, the community of a friend, and then the learning, I guess, of the workshops.
Okay, I love that. So do you is this discerner have to be in a certain place to be able to participate in this program?
No, not at all. So basically, as long as you're discerning religious life, we're happy to work with anybody kind of anywhere along that path. So we've been really intentional about trying to write the program for people that are in a variety of places, because we realize that people may be joining who just started discerning like 2 months ago versus people that have been discerning for 4 or 5 years, you know. So we really have tried to make it where anywhere or anyone who's at any place in their discernment, they can find something good in this program.
So if they've already found an order that, you know, they want to enter in a year's time, but they really would love to still have some mentorship happening, that'd be okay too?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and actually, we have a lot of people who will have an order in mind, and will also will be happen to be working with that order as part of like our mentor team. So we sometimes get to pair people up with orders that they're interested in.
Yeah,
Um,
very
yeah,
cool.
but
You have so you have a variety of orders. Do they go through some process to become a mentor?
yes, they do. So we do like a background check, safe environment training, all that kind of stuff, and then we have a training program meant for them that's also posted on the Catechetical Institute site. So things like basically how to be a good mentor, how to ask good questions, how to listen, those kind of things. So they have their own training, I guess you could say.
So how many are in, I know it's a new program, but how many are in the program at the moment?
For like the young adults that are in the
Yeah,
program?
sure. The mentorship program that are being mentored.
Sure. I think we're a little over 30 now. So we average about 10 to 15 per month, and we've seen that number grow because basically we start a new group of people at the start of every month. So that's how we do like the critical friend pairings and that kind of thing. It's people that are in your month's group. So.
And so how long does it last then, the whole program? Can it last as long as it needs, like as long as they need a mentor, or is it designed for a certain period of time?
So it's designed to last 6 months. And the reason we did that is that it's enough time to where, you know, you don't feel rushed. You don't feel like so much is happening in your spiritual life so quickly that it's stressful. But it's also like a set amount of time. So we can walk you through the program tasks kind of at a set pace that we think is good for everybody. And I think, I mean, most people who are doing this, like they're going to form like a good relationship with their mentor. So if they wanted to call them after the program ends, I'm sure they'd be very happy to do that.
All right, that's awesome. And so, um, tell me more about the the fact that so many people are craving to have a spiritual director, but this isn't to take the place of spiritual director, right? I mean,
Right.
or otherwise you'd be calling it spiritual direction, you know, a spiritual director. But what do you see as the main difference?
Yeah, so I think really the main difference is that just a mentor in this context is really just meant to help you in one particular area of your spiritual life. So really like they're just there to kind of help you talk about discernment and work through that. I mean, obviously that's going to bleed a little bit into just your spiritual life in general, but it's not quite as, I guess, like intense as spiritual direction. And I think our mentors, like they're mainly there to help you get the most out of the program, most out of the program tasks. So they're helping, but they're also just kind of like an aid and a guide to our formation program.
And then the buddy is there to kind of lend support, moral support, you know, whatever, you know, and especially since they're being at the same age as the other people. So do you have people from all over? Is this something that anybody from any country could take advantage of, us, or are there restrictions in that manner?
Yeah, so basically, as long as you speak English, then you can join the program. So we have people from really all over the world at this point. We're definitely in a handful of countries and lots of different time zones. So
Wow. And so what about the mentors? Are they from all over too, or are they mostly in the United States?
so right now they're mostly in the United States. A handful of the orders that we work with have missions in other countries, but most of them are based here in the U.S.
So what is the overarching goal here of this program?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just giving people the resources that they need to discern well. You know, because I mean, I feel like it can be hard for people to really have access to like just like the learning that needs to happen when you're discerning religious life, because there's so much like you have to learn. Okay, how do I listen to God's voice? Like, what is the vocation? I mean, what is the religious life? And all those things just take time. And so that's something that's very intentionally focused and designed to really help with that. And just to give someone people that they can walk with through this is so important, because it's so easy just to get so confused and lonely, and it just, I mean, discernment's hard. So giving them that mentor giving them that critical friend, really just giving them the support and the resources that they need, I think would be the goal of the program.
Have you been getting some good feedback from those people who've been a part of it?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we've gotten really great feedback so far. Everyone says that they're learning a lot about themselves and learning a lot about discernment. So I'd say overall we've gotten great feedback.
And so some of the people that had started mentorship a while back have now entered into religious life, or I mean, still in the process of, or have you been keeping track of that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I don't think we're quite old enough to be able to figure that out yet. I think once the ministry grows, maybe in like a year or two, we'll be able to see that. But I think right now we're just still working through the initial groups. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case in the future.
Sure. And tell us more about besides the information just for discerners and the mentorship program, you also have a page of resources for other groups. What else is the Vocations outreach designed for?
Yeah, so like I said, basically it's just trying to connect people with the resources that they need. So if anybody goes to vocationsoutreach.org/resources, that'll give them access to our resource page. And we have all sorts of different materials. So from movies to books, just really everything that we could think of that could be of any use, we've tried to put together there.
Yeah, so for the discerners, but you also then have pages for helping parishes and other groups is what I was asking about. Do you have other pages there that are, and what's there? Who are you trying to help?
Oh yeah, exactly. So we have a page for religious orders, and on that page is all the information about all of our services. So all of the videography, photography, graphic design, everything they need to get going with that is all on that page. And then for parishes and schools, we have a resource page. Basically, that's all the things that we could find that could be helpful for them. So things like vocation ministry, link to you guys. We have some links to some videos that we've made and some lesson plans to go with them. Some flyers or brochures that you can hang up in a parish or school, or brochures that you can pass out. So yeah, basically, yeah, like I said, everything that we can think of.
Yeah, there is a lot there. So I do hope that people will go to vocationsoutreach.org, because I feel like there's something for everybody there to learn from. The videos alone, I thought were spectacular, and just conveying all kinds of different messages. I like the fact that there's such a variety that, it's not just stuck in one place, for like somebody who has no idea what's going on, that it's really across the board. So, so Franciscan University is now invested in this and saying, this is something that we want to help with. And I can imagine that their footprint here can be quite large. How much do you see this growing? Like, I mean, could this program help, hundreds at one time? Or do you see that there's some limitation to the number they could help of discerners specifically?
Yeah, I mean, we've built a program where it can handle a lot of people. So we're hopeful that this will be able to have a pretty big impact. And what's nice too is that it's been designed for all age groups as well. So we have people as young as 16, 15 that are coming into the program, as well as people, 28, 29, 30. And so I think, from things like the student bill conferences, we might get a lot of people there. From alumni, from people that are at the school, I think that there's a lot of potential for the university to help.
Oh, I agree. So many people say, they heard their call at the Student Bill conference. So, I used to go to Student Bill conferences with youth all the time, and it was amazing to watch those altar calls at the end. And I felt like, what happened? Okay, they went up there. They said they've been thinking about it, being a priest. Okay, so for our listening audience, if you don't know, if you've never been to a Steubenville conference, it's a 3-day conference where there are speakers, there's music, there's inspiration, there's adoration, there's mass, of course, all the sacraments. Confession is a huge part of it too, and on Sunday, after they've gone through this really intense time, because nobody's sleeping and all the everybody's walls are down because they're tired. They're not hungry because they've eaten a lot, but they're raw. Let's just say they're emotionally raw. So by Sunday, they've just had mass and probably some more, time of adoration and maybe some speakers, and at the very end, many times they will have an altar call and say, if you've ever thought about being a priest, will you come forward? And hundreds, they just keep coming. Hundreds of boys, when they ask if you've ever been thought about it being a priest, come forward, receive a blessing. I mean, you're prayed over. It's just amazing. And then they go back to their seats and they say, if you've ever thought about being a sister, come down. And so the same kind of thing happens. Hundreds of young women come forward. And once that's done, I go, what happens? I wonder what happens. You know, they go back to their parish. Many parishes don't talk at all about vocations. So they're not seeing others discerning with them. They're not seeing other discerning. So I just think this would be such a good fit for all those young people, because so many people say, oh, they're too young. They're too young. Let them go to college. Let them see life. And I'm like, what? What? We're letting them go to the wolves? No. Let them go to, let them go really discern properly. I mean, yes, college is all good, and it especially depends on where they go. I'm just saying that I think it would be great to have somebody to say, if you're thinking about this, give us a call. We have somebody to walk with you and just discover this a little more. Don't you think that'd be a good fit? Don't you think that should happen?
I think that'd be a great fit.
We need to have like some graphics up there at the Steubenville conference. If you feel called, allvocationsoutreach.org. I just think that would be awesome, because I just think that just doesn't happen, and people don't know what to do. So it's good in that respect. I'm so thankful you have something for the younger women and men, because 70% of the newly ordained said they were called between birth and 18 years of age. 70% first heard the call when they were at the parish, altar serving, in the choir, at the parochial school, all the things. But many times it's not fostered. Parents aren't fostering it, and that's all. It's a generalization, but for the most part, they're not fostering it. That's not fostered too much in schools. I mean, they learn about holy orders, once maybe. And so it's just not talked about much. So I actually hear from younger discerners in the discernment groups that I have on Facebook. They're when they have to answer questions to get in, and they're like, well, I'm only 16. And I'm like, well, that's okay. It's okay. We need everybody walking together, because I would imagine the younger you are, the scarier it is.
Yeah, exactly. I really push for having this be available to 15, 16, 17-year-olds, because if I was going to do this program, I would have needed it when I was 15 or 16, because sometimes God speaks that early, and sometimes you really just need to, listen to him and follow that call then. And so, yeah, I think that that's one nice perk of this, is that we can really help those people in the younger age group.
Yeah. And put them with somebody who has been trained and knows what they're talking about and can really walk with them, and with the buddy too. I just think it's a really well thought out program. So tell us again how somebody can find out more information if they know, if you know a religious order who needs help with their social media, with their website, with their just getting the word out about them, which is probably 75% of religious orders need help, if not more. I mean, there just weren't, most of the religious orders are older. They don't have a lot of new novices, to young new novices that may be really tech savvy and all of that. So if you know of a religious order that could use some help, please send them this information. So tell us where to find out more information about all these great resources.
So everything to find out about all of our projects is available at vocationsoutreach.org, or you can just Google Vocations Outreach and it'll pop right up.
And so once they say, yes, I want to do this, is there a form they fill out online, or what's the next step for them, discerners and religious orders?
Yeah, so for both we have an application. So either for orders who want some of our services or for discerners wanting to be in the program, there's just a brief application that they fill out, and then we'll hopefully get back to them within a couple of days of them filling that out.
That is amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Cassidy. I really appreciate you're giving us all this amazing information. I'm thankful that Franciscan University exists, first of all, in our world to evangelize and to send forth so many people just like you who want to change the world for the better. And God bless you in your discernment as you go forward. And I'm sure that our listeners will be praying for you too. So thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and if anybody wants to continue to learn more, feel free to follow us on social media. So our Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, just Vocations Outreach, and you can learn more about us there as well.
That is fabulous. Thank you so much for that too. All right. You have a blessed evening. Thanks, Cassidy.
Yeah, thanks so much. God bless.